we're going to talk about simple interest. I want to give you just a little bit of background because I found this interesting with the last class, how little people knew about it. When you are doing investments, there are several major avenues of investments you can do. One of the oldest ones is what we call simple interest. We're going to go through that today because it's going to introduce the simple interest formula to you on how to actually calculate interest. Most people today would not use simple interest because it's not a very good way to invest your money. If you're going to invest in a bank, you're going to want to use what we call compound interest. Compound interest basically takes your interest and then adds it to your principal and then recalculates the interest based on whatever period you're doing. Most places are going to compound daily. Occasionally you'll find one that'll do monthly or annually. Normally what what you'll see advertised is an annualized compounding interest that is calculated daily. So basically what they do is each day they say how much interest have you earned, they put that into your account, and that's the value they use to calculate it for the next day. That is the best one because basically what it means is the interest that you're earning on the money is also earning you money. The best way to invest is in the stock market or building your own business. If you can have your own successful business is the best way. You can talk to a guy named Elon Musk. He's made a career out of figuring out good ways to make businesses. But the bottom line is simple interest is the basic concept for us to get the idea on how interest works. So before we get into it though, I want you guys just to think about when you're looking at your money, what is the difference between a savings account and piggy bank? Key on this, they tell us to do two things, right? Consider the advantages and disadvantages for each of these. So I want advantage and disadvantage for each of your two categories. So this one is going to be a really good discussion question. I want you guys to talk together at your table. See if you can come up with at least two advantages and two disadvantages for each of these categories. So I'll give you guys about 4 minutes to talk. Go ahead and get started. Okay, what advantages did you guys come up with for a savings account? Hunter? Okay, you can earn money. Guys, one at a time, please. We're recording, Layla. Okay, if it's a savings account, you shouldn't be spending on it. That's more of a checking account. No, that's a good answer, though. Thank you.
It's more safe.
Safer, yes. Lillian?
It's more organized.
Okay. Especially depending on how you set it up. Leon?
You can track how much money you have.
Okay. So easy to track. What about disadvantages? Rylan?
It can be tricky to pick up money.
Okay, it can be hard to get. Hard to access. Joshua, sorry.
There could be money limitations.
Could be limitations. So I'll talk about some of those in just a second. Daniela? Okay. Bank fees. Jace? Scammers. Okay, so given today's environment, electronic invasion is definitely a consideration. So I just want to hit one of those really quick. The bank fees, money limitations, and the safety. How many of you guys know about insurance? What is insurance? Hunter?
Insurance is like kind of like a tax.
Okay.
Well, not really. You just have to pay for like health insurance, which means like you have to pay for like doctor appointments, that kind of stuff.
Okay. Joshua?
If something happens, it can be restored.
If something happens, it can be restored. That's the big one that Hunter's right. Normally, you have to pay for insurance. But if you have your money in a savings account, guess what?
It just goes from that to
The federal government automatically insures it up to $100,000 if it's a credited institution. So that's why one of the huge huge advantages to a savings account, even with the bank thieves, the scammers that are out there now, your account is actually protected up to $100,000. So there's a huge advantage that if something happens to that money, the bank or the government will replace it up to $100,000. So that automatic insurance that you don't actually have to pay for, you don't pay for that at all, other than your taxes. But that's a whole different story. Jace?
True that isn't it true that insurance is something you pay for that doesn't pay for everything?
Depends on what type of insurance you have.
Like car insurance?
Again, depends on what kind of insurance you have. If you pay a higher rate, you get what's called a comprehensive policy. A comprehensive policy will actually buy you a new car if something happens to yours. But if you're only going with the cheaper insurance, just the liability, they actually won't pay anything for your car. But if you hit someone else, they'll actually pay to get theirs fixed, or they'll pay for their doctor bills. So they give whole ranges of these, and the price you pay depends on the protection you get. So let's contrast this to a piggy bank. What do you guys have for advantage on a piggy bank? Rylan?
It can be stolen by scammers.
Okay. Can't be stolen by scammers. In other words, they don't have electronic access. Okay.
More easy to access.
Easy access,
On 1.56.
which actually can be a disadvantage because when it's easy to get to, it's a lot easier to spend it instead of save it.
it's your responsibility.
Okay, so is that an advantage or a disadvantage?
It's a disadvantage if you're a kid, young.
Okay.
But it's an advantage if you're an adult.
So you need to be responsible. So that kind of goes with that easy access. Because it's easy to access, you need to be responsible or you'll find that it's all gone.
For an advantage, it's better for older cash places because there's like if it's more convenient to get to if there's a place where you can't use like a card or something.
Okay.
And you can easily just get some cash and you can go there.
So again, that's the kind of the easy access to having your money right there on hand. Andre, got another one?
It can't hold as much money.
So disadvantage, can't hold as much. Leland?
You can forget it where you placed it.
Okay. You can lose it. Lose or forget where it is. I heard a couple talking about siblings raiding your piggy bank. So if it's right there where your siblings can get to it, that can be a major disadvantage. Leon?
It looks stupid.
Depending on it, most of them, and we actually last class put that as an advantage, they can be pretty. Well, apparently Leon's is not so pretty, so his would be under a disadvantage. Kimani?
A disadvantage, it could be,
Can break it. Okay, so I think you guys have a pretty good list. But one of the big ones you guys missed on the disadvantage, do you get any extra money from a piggy bank? No. So there are no earnings on putting it in a piggy bank. So when we look at investing money, right here is really one of the biggest disadvantages to a savings account versus a piggy bank. The way we earn money is through a process called interest. So the way we calculate interest, let's go through the definitions first. Simple interest is interest earned only on the blank or the original amount deposited. Anybody know what the official term for that is? The money that I start my account with. Chase?
Capital?
No, that's more of like an investment type thing, but you're on the right track. We call it principal. So the principal is the amount that you originally invest. Okay? It is earned over a period of time and written as a
Check.
no. How do I write the interest? When I talk about interest, what do I talk about?
Interest.
I'll give you a hint. What has our entire 7 lessons been on?
Percent.
Percent. So when we talk about the interest, we talk about the percent. So there is a very simple formula to solve this. I equals PRT. That's our simple interest formula. The letters all stand for something. The I is the interest. Okay? So the interest is the amount of money that we earn, or if we borrow the money that we pay for using the money.
Is P principal?
P would be the
Percent.
principal. So the P is the initial investment or the original deposit. So this is the amount of money we're working with. R is rate. Now, one key on the rate in the formula. We need to write it as a decimal. Okay? So make sure when you're doing the formulas, you change the percent into a decimal. Now that brings the converse. If I'm solving for the percent, or the rate, what we're going to find is a decimal answer. What do I need to do that decimal answer to show the rate? Change it to a percent. JJ?
Is principal supposed to be stuff like our school principals?
Yeah. Yes, the other type is like your morals. Principles are how you treat something. But this one is like the school principal. That's why I was really sad last period when Carson couldn't figure that one out. Yes.
SAT.
I'm sorry?
SAT.
SAT.
Can I say T?
Oh. Can you answer what T is for?
Time.
Time. But how do we measure the T?
Years.
That is a critical concept. My time must be done in years. So when we are doing simple interest, guys, please stop the sidebars. If you have a question, raise your hand. The time must be changed to years in order to calculate it. So if they give it to us in months, what do I need to do?
Over 12.
Divide by 12. Okay? The first thing you're going to do is change it into years. Any questions on the actual formula? Okay. So I'm going to see how good you guys are. Let's see if you can, if I just give you the formula, if you can actually figure out how to use it. So I'm going to give you guys 4 minutes. You can work together as a table group. I've given you the base formula, told you how you need to do it. Let's see if you can actually apply that. Go ahead and go. Okay, guys, again, mark your text on these. It's going to make it easier. Stop the chat or we're recording. On this one, we're going to use the simple interest formula to determine the amount of interest earned. Then find the total value of the account, assuming no other deposits or withdrawals were made. So there's actually 2 pieces to this, right? We need to use the simple interest formula and then find the total value. So hopefully you did both. So you're going to see this today. Every single one of these is going to start with I equals PRT. Big hint for the test next week. That should be on your cheat sheet. So we have a $900 deposit for 20 years at a simple interest rate of 4%. So do I know my interest?
Yes.
Do I know how much interest?
No.
Percent.
Do I know how much interest?
No.
No.
That's X.
Do I know the principal?
Yes.
Yes.
900.
900. Do I know the interest rate?
Yes. 4%.
Yes. 4%, but in the formula, what's important? Change it to a decimal, so that's going to be 400. Do I know the time?
Yes.
Yes. 20 years. So now you have a choice. I've got three numbers. Does it matter what order I multiply them in?
No.
No. So you can do whatever you like. For me, because I got two decimals and a 900, I'm going to start on that one. 900 times 400. I've got two decimals. Gives me 36, two decimals. 36. So then I take it times the last one, 36 times 20. 12, 720. So what is the 720? The interest. So my interest was $720, but they also wanted total value. So 900 plus that 720 gives me 216. So my total value is 1,620. Why? Because that principal never changes. So basically, guys, the way this works, you give the bank the $900. You tell them how long you're going to investment to get your best returns. And the bank then uses that $900 and they give it to other people. But they charge a higher percentage rate to the people that they're giving it to. Okay? And then in the end, you get your original amount, 900, plus the interest of 720. So that's what the bank has paid you to let them use your money for that period. Jonah? Jeff, why am I doing that? It's Joshua. I like Roman. Joshua, what?
The way I did it is that.
Hold on, guys. Listen, please.
Since it's 0.04 out of 100, because it's a percentage, turned into a decimal. Since it's 0.04, I didn't multiply it. So I kept it as the percent. I put it 4 over 100, and then I made the 100 equal 900. So I times it by 9 on the bottom and times the 9 on the top. Then I got 4 times 9, which is equal to 36.
Okay? Mathematically, as long as you understand that, I'm okay with it. Just realize, for the use of the formula, they do basically say, do the percent as the decimal. But if it's easier for you to calculate and you understand why you're doing that, I'm okay with that. Especially with easy numbers like 100 and 900. Daniela?
3,000 to 4,000. How did you get 4.0?
Because 4%. How do I change percent to a decimal? I move it 2 decimal places to the left. Same thing, if I'm going to find the interest rate, my answer is going to be a decimal. To turn it to a percent, what do? I move it 2 to the right. Why am I moving it 2 places? Because it's out of 100. That's the definition of percent. Everybody good on those? Does this make sense for you? Okay, so we'll give you a chance to practice. You've got 3 more on the front, yes?
Yes.
So I'll give you guys about 8 minutes to do those 3, and then we'll go over them together. Okay, again, I'm not going to mark the text because it's the same directions on your sheet, but I will do it for this part. 50% deposit, 45 years, simple interest rate of 3%. Again, are you guys starting to see something on how I start every one of these problems?
Yeah.
Do you think it would be wise for you to do the same?
Yeah.
Okay? As we keep going, you're going to see why this becomes really important. So, do I know my interest? No, that's what I'm solving for. Do I know my principal? 5,600. My rate, 3%, but I need to turn it to a decimal. My time, 45 years. Does it matter what order I multiply these in?
No.
No. So, Mr. Moore, I'm going to take the ones that's going to get rid of the decimal. So I'm going to do the big one times the 300. Doesn't matter. You can do them in any order, and as long as you don't make a math error, you'll get the right answer. But I just like trying to get rid of the decimals, so I'm just working with whole numbers. So that gives us a 0, 0, 18, 15, 16 with 2 decimal places. So it's $168 per year that you're earning, and you're doing that for 45 years. Gives us 40, 34, 8, 0, 32, 24, 27, 4, 5, 6, 0, 6, 15. So it gives us 7,560. What is that number? The interest. So that is the 7,560. So what is the total then? How do I find that? Add what? Add the principal. So what did I start with? Plus the 5,600 I started with gives us 0, 6, 11, 8, 13. So it gives us a total of $13,160. Any questions on any of those numbers, where they came from or how we're putting them together? Maddox? What do you think? Oh, you're not quite sure? You're not even looking at your paper? Questions on it? Okay, let's go to the next one. Now we have a $3,000 deposit, 30 years, at an interest rate of 2 5/10%. So again, we start the same way. I equals PRT. I'm solving for the interest. I know my principal was $3,000. My rate is 2 5/10%. Any questions on how to turn that to a decimal? Just in case, for the record, I'm moving it twice to the left. So as a decimal, that becomes 25 thousandths. And I'm doing it for 30 years. Yes?
What you get from that is 30 times 2.5, which will give you...
So actually, it's going to be 3,000. And actually, I'm going to do this differently. I'm going to put the 25 hundredths on, or thousandths on top, times 3,000. Because again, I want to try to get rid of the decimals. So I've got 3 zeros. I've got 15. 6 and 1 is 7. 3 decimal places means I'm making $75 a year on it. And I'm doing that $75 times 30 years. Gives us 2122. So we earn interest of $2,250. When I add in my original $3,000, I get $5,250 for my total value. Joshua, question?
Also, if you do it in like a fraction, but I told you how I did it, you can do it 25 over 1,000.
You could. It's 25 thousandths. It's 25 over 1,000. Okay, our last one on this page. We have a $4,000 deposit for 48 months at a rate of 2%. So again, I equals PRT. What's the first thing I need to do on this problem? Maddox?
Put in the equation. $4,000 times 2 hundredths times 48.
Uh-oh.
Oh wait, no. Do I equals 4,000 times 2 hundredths times...
What did we talk about for the time? I told you very specifically in the formula.
48 months.
But what does the time have to be?
2 years.
In years. How many years is 48 months?
4.
So the first thing I need to do is change those months into years. So that's 4 years, so I'm just dividing it by 12. Now that I've got the right units, I can now put it into the formula. So now the rest of what Maddox said was correct. So my original deposit of 4,000, my rate is going to change to 2 hundredths, and my years is going to be 4. So that's a major difference. So again, I can do it in any order. So Mr. Moore is going to start with the 2 hundredths, get rid of the decimals. Gives us 0,008. 2 decimals means it's $80 per year. And I'm doing that times 4 years. So I'm going to do the 80 times 4. gives me $320 for our interest. Plus the 4,000 means our value is 4,320. Any questions on the front side? Okay, good. Let's go to the back. Now, we're going to test your knowledge a little bit. I'm going to switch around the formula. So you're going to solve for different parts of the formula. Be cognizant of if that's what you're doing. I'm going to let you guys do the first one. I'll give you guys about 3 minutes on this. Just to make sure you guys understand what we're doing, and then we'll go. Then I'll let you do the next ones. So let's get this one done. Go ahead and work together for. Okay, guys, let's go through this one. So we're going to use your understanding of the simple interest formula to determine the rate. Then find the total value of the account, assuming no other deposits. So we're going to determine the rate and find the total value. So we have an $800 deposit for 24 months, earn $200 in interest. So again, start with your formula. I is PRT. I heard someone holler 2 years. Yes, one of the first things we need to do is change 2 years. So 24 months is 2 years. Now is where it gets interesting. Do I know my interest? I don't. $200. Yes, I do know my interest. So that $200 equals, do I know my principal?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's $800. Do I know the rate?
No.
No. So I know it's times some number R, and my time was 2 years. So now we just go to where we have been since last year in solving equations. I find my variable. What is with it? R is my variable. What's with it? 802. So what's the opposite of multiplying by 800? Dividing by 800. What's the opposite of multiplying by 2? Dividing by 2. What's happening between the 800 and the 2? They're being multiplied. So what am I going to have to do on the other side?
You're also going to have to divide.
Divide by 800 times 2. I have to divide them both by the same thing. Okay? Now, we've got this. So 800 divided by 800 is 1. 2 divided by 2 is 1. So what's left on this side? R.
Oh, okay. Oh, yeah.
Because 1 times R is R, multiplicative identity property of 1. I multiply 1 times any number, it's that number. So I can now replace that 1 times R is just R. On this side, do I have any reductions I can do? Yes. I can divide 200 by 200, make it 1. 800 by 200, make that a 4. So now I just have 1/8. But how do I write my interest? Jace? Out of 100, or as a percent. Can I do something to this to make a decimal?
Yeah.
Yes, I can do what? I can divide it, right? I can take 1, divide it by 8. Remember, the top guy is my winner. He gets to go in the house. The loser's left on the outside. Will 8 go into 1?
No.
No. So I need to do what? Add a decimal and a 0. Decimal comes up. 8 goes into 1, or into 10. 1 time. Subtract 8 gives me a 2. Still not a 0, so add another 0. 8 goes into 20. Twice. Subtract 16 gives me a 4. Add another 0. Goes into 40. 5 times. Subtract 40. Now I made it to 0. So I have the decimal equivalent of my interest rate. How do I make this into a percent? Okay. Multiply by 100, not divide. So if I multiply by 100, what am I actually doing? Moving my decimal twice to the right. Why twice? Why don't I move it 3 times? There's 3 decimal places.
You're moving over 3 times to the right because you multiply that when you My brain's still off.
Your brain's right on so far.
Oh,
Why am I multiplying by 100?
Because that's it's turning into a percentage.
Because that's the definition of percent. Percent is out of 100.
Out of 100.
So I'm doing it twice because it's percent. So that makes it 12 and 5/10%. What is the total value for my deposit and interest? Maddox?
$1,000.
Good. All I do is add my principal and my interest. Does that make sense for everybody? Does everybody understand what we did on the equation? Yes? Anybody not understand? Maybe a better question. Thank you, Layla. What part did you get? Do you understand? I knew everything but the rate. So that was my variable. But to get my variable by itself, I had to get rid of everything that's with it. So instead of multiplying by 800, I had to divide by 800. Instead of multiplying by 2, I had to divide by 2. But if I do it on one side of my equation, that's why I draw the line, I also have to do it on the other side to keep it equal. What?
Is there any other way to do this?
You could have rearranged your letters here. So I could say I equals PRT, right? But if I'm going to solve for R, that means I need to divide by P, or by T, sorry. So on this side, I would have to divide by P and T, so R equals I over PT. So you could have manipulated the initial equation.
That's all you did right there.
That's all I did.
So how's it different?
It's not.
Is there like a different?
It's just a formula rewritten. So that to give you a hint, what if I was going to solve for T? T would equal what? I over RP. Or PR, says keep them in order. What if I needed to solve for the principal? Then it's the interest over the rate times the time. So yes, you could manipulate your initial equation, but this is the one everything is based off of. Yes, Leon?
Why? I still don't understand that you would multiply by years, time.
Because the time has to be in years.
So you change the time to 2 years instead of 100 months, and then multiply 100 by 2, and then multiply multiply 800 times 2 by 200.
No. Those are on opposite sides of the equal sign. I can't multiply them. 200 is on the other side of the equal sign. That's the interest that I earned. Yes?
I said x over 100 equals 200 over 800. Could you do it that way?
No, because you have to take the 2 into account. The fact that it goes for 2 years affects the formula.
If I had 25, should have divided it by 2.
If you did it that way, that would work. I would highly advise against it, though. Use the equation that we give you. You understand the formula. Okay, how many of you still need time on the second one? Okay, about a third of you, so I'm going to give you guys about 2 more minutes. Knock that one out. Keep going. Okay, so on the next one, directions haven't changed. We have a $15.95 deposit, 10 years, rate of 8%. Again, it starts with our formula. Do I know the interest on this one?
Yes.
I do?
Oh, no.
No. Do I know the principal? Yes, $15.95. Do I know the rate? Yes, 8% or 800ths. Do I know the time? Yes, 10 years. So this one I'm going to do a little different. I'm going to do those two first. So 800ths times 10 gives me 2 decimal places. So that's going to be 8/10. So just get rid of part of that. So now I'm doing 15.95 times 8/10. I've got 1 decimal. Gives us 40, 76, 47, and 12. I put one decimal in, so my interest is $1,276. To find the total, I need to add that to the initial deposit. Gives us 11, 17, 8, $2,871. Pretty good on that one. Okay, your last one on this top part. A deposit earns 102 after 36 months with an interest rate of 5%. First thing we need to do, make that 3 years. So far they've been nice. They've given us full years instead of partial, but be aware that it could potentially happen. So I know my interest is 102. I don't know my principal, but I know I did it at 5% for 3 years. So here's what I'm solving for. So I need to divide by that 5% at 3 years. So dividing by 5% at 3 years, those go away, become ones, which is why we do it. So I now know my principal's on this side. Do I have any reductions I can do? Yes. I can divide the 3 by 3, and 102 by 3 is going to give me 34. Can I divide 34 in 500? Any reductions there? Nope. So now I just need to divide. So I have 34. He's the top. He's my winner that goes in the house. 500 is on the outside. It's moving twice. Means I put 2 zeros on the inside. Then I just do the math. 5 goes into 30, 3 0. 35 is going to go 6. 40 is going to go 8. I still have a 0 to take into account. Do not forget that. If you put 68 as your answer, you're wrong, because it's 680. So what was my principal? $680. Find my total. So I add the 680 and the 102. Gives me $782 of total value. Questions on that one? Okay, our next one. The Reese deposit into account earns 8% simple interest. After 8 years, he had earned $400. How much was the initial deposit? So I equals PRT. Do I know how much he earned? Yeah, so it's $400. Do I know the principal?
No.
No. Do I know the rate?
Yes.
Yes, 8 hundredths. Do I know the time?
Yes.
8 years. So I'm solving for that. So I'm going to divide by the 8 hundredths times 8. Meaning this one divides by 8 hundredths times 8. These are going to go away. That's the whole reason we do it. So I have my variable by itself. Can I divide 8 and 400? Yes. That's going to go 50. Now I'm just going to do the math. So 50 divided by 8 hundredths. Move it over twice, move it over twice, add 2 zeros. 8 will not go into 5, goes into 58 6 times. 48 gives me a 2, goes into 20 twice. 16 gives me a 4, goes into 40 5 times. And I got to a 0. So what was my initial deposit? His initial deposit was $625. Questions on these? Everybody good so far? Are we understanding the formula? Okay, deposited $550 that earned simple interest after 11 years. The interest in the account was $484. What was the simple interest? So there's our question. So I equals PRT. Do I know how much interest he earned? Yes, $484. Do I know the principal? Yes, $550. Do I know the rate? No. Do I know the time? 11 years. So the opposite, I'm going to multiply it and divide by 550 times 11. Those go away. Meaning I'm going to divide 550 times 11. Can I divide 484 by anything on the bottom? Good, I'm going to teach you guys a quick trick.
You can divide it by 11. Because,
How do you know, Maddox?
Because, okay, so if you multiply 11 by 40, that gives you 444. 444. And if you multiply it by 4 again, that will, well actually no, not 4 by 4, it'll give you 440. But if you add 44, that will give you 484.
You guys want to see a trick?
Sure.
What's 4 plus 4?
8.
If I add the outside numbers that equals the inside, I can divide by 11. So, he was absolutely right. I can divide by 11, and that one is 44. So technically I can divide by 2, give me 22 and 275. So I can take 275, divide by 292. So we'll go here, we'll go once here, subtract 22, gives me, oops. So right, guys, if you watch the video for the rest, hold on, I gotta grab your. Okay, so just finish this one off. We're at the 5, still not at 55, so bring that one down. That's gonna go twice, subtract 44, gives us 11. We're not at 0, so let's add a decimal. Bring down to 0, 110, that's going to go 5 times. So, we've now been given our simple interest because we've already taken everything in. So we've got the interest rate was 12 5/10%. So that was actually a pretty good interest rate. If you get that much on your interest, you're doing well. Excuse me. Going on to the next problem. Explain the benefit of investing your money into an account that earns simple interest. Biggest one, very safe. Because the money is insured. And you will gain interest over time.
Don't hear.
But I'm still recording.
There you go.
Thank you. So the biggest thing there is your security, and you're at least getting something for the money. So that's your overall. Oh, we did have one last question. Caston has 2 options for investing his money. You think choosing option A will earn the most interest? Is he correct? What is the difference in the amount of interest he would earn? So we've got really 3 questions. Is he correct, and what is the difference in the amounts? So for both of them, we're going to need to use our formula because we're trying to talk about the interest. So it's PRT. We have a $550 deposit, 3.5 for 48 months. We're going to change that to 4 years. So 550 times 0.035 let's try that again, 0.035 times 4. So in this case, I'm probably going to start with the 0.35 times 4. Just try to get rid of at least 1 decimal place. So we got 3 decimals. We got 20, 12, 14 with 3 decimal places. So that's going to be 0.140, which I can now rewrite as 0.14. So 0.14 times 550. 2 decimal places. I've got the 0, the 20, 5, 6, 7. 0, 0, 27 gives us $77 in interest. So the interest here is $77. Our second one, we've got 550 for 3% for 60 months. So we can change that one to 5 years. So same formula, PRT. Now my principal is 550, so we're starting at the same. My interest is only 3%, so 0.03, but now I'm doing it for 5 years. So I'm going to do, for me, I'm going to do the math in the same order. 0.03 times 5 gives me 15 with 2 decimal places. So 1500 times 550. Still have 2 decimal places, gives me 0, 25, 75, so 0, 0, 5, 7. And together, 0, 5, 12, 8, 2 decimal places, so the interest is $82.50. So we now have the difference. He thinks option A is going to give him the most, as he is correct. We can see the interest here is $82.50, interest here is $77. So technically he is wrong. No, he is incorrect. The second part was we need to find the difference. So I take $82.50 minus 75. $82.50 minus the $77 gives us $5.50. He will earn $5.50 more with option B. And there's both those questions. Now, for those of you that are questioning, option A would give a better interest rate, and quite frankly, option A is where I would go. The reason option B gives you more is because it's for a longer time. So time does have an impact on how much you're going to get. But because the question focused only on the most interest, we had to answer with option B, because when we worked it out mathematically, that had the larger number. So that's your assignment for today. Good luck. Remember, and I'm sure I'm going to put this on the next page, when you're looking at your interest equation, you can redo it to solve for anything else. So if I'm solving for principal, then I'm going to take both sides dividing by RT, so that the principal equals the interest divided by the rate times the time. And you're going to do that for any of those. So rate equals the interest over the principal times the time, and the time equals the interest over the principal times the rate. So you can reformulate that equation to solve for any of those pieces based on the information that they have given you. So for doing your cheat sheet, you may want to include those things. That's up to you. But it's actually not that hard to manipulate the equations once the numbers are actually put in there. Good luck, guys. Let me know if you have any questions. Bye-bye. Bye.